VAs should be taxed because they're not protected by the law daw. Ayun, because there's no category for VAs and freelancers yet.
Everyone is subject or obliged to pay the taxes. Dapat ba akong magbayad o hindi? Knowing that maliit lang yung kinikita ko, tapos
Yes.
sa gobyerno, mababalitaan ko, parang, saan ba napapapunta yung mga taxes ko? Tapos ganun lang yung nangyayari. Ang sakit sa loob. No? So I understand where they are coming from.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Offshore Diaries. With me today is Jesser Javier, a Filipino accountant and expert on tax. Welcome to the podcast, Jesser.
Hi, Melissa. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, we had a great podcast pre-call with Paolo, and we were able to talk about really interesting stuff about tax. So for our listeners, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about the work that you do?
For those who don't know me yet, I'm Jesser Javier, currently engaged as university and college faculty teaching taxation and accounting for BSA or Bachelor of Science and Accountancy students. And also, I am engaged as a reviewer for CPA hopefuls, particularly in taxation, making me a bit master with the taxation. Before that, I was engaged with certain multinational corporations as chief accountant and accountant involving not just accounting and taxation, but also managerial decision making. I also do part-time VA. I did once the VA once, but not that enough as compared with our viewers. And also I do some client, I provide public service for some of the clients for tax compliances.
Okay, so we're in the presence of someone who really knows what he's talking about when it comes to tax. So thank you very much for agreeing to be on this podcast. Yeah, we're really excited to have you here as a resource person. So the goal of this podcast episode is basically to explain how taxes and why VAs, why freelancers should be paying their taxes, a brief overview of how does a freelancer apply or the entire process, tsaka yung mga resources that they could refer to, especially for those just beginning their career as digital freelancers. So you mentioned briefly you worked as a VA once. So how familiar are you with the VA industry?
I cannot say I'm much familiar because the contract was just a short contract for a part-time of 2 hours per day. So I think it's 4 months only. So during the lean season of the teaching, pagka-bakasyon, wala tayong sahod. So I did part-time during that time. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm familiar with VA.
It's okay, no worries. So here in the Offshore Diaries, we focus a lot on freelancers, specifically those who work from home, remote Filipino workers that they have foreign clients. So VA is a really broad term, right? It could mean anything from being a CEO secretary, executive assistant, to doing admin work, bookkeeping, some graphic designers, in-house video editors, coders, programmers, all of that falls under the category of being a VA. So we invited you on this podcast because recently, especially if you check Reddit groups about virtual assistants, tax has been a really hot topic because of the recent laws and bills proposed this year, right? So we have the digital tax, which affects freelancers because it involves the programs we use for our daily jobs and the digital tax law. Is that correct?
Yes.
And also the debate in the VA community whether VAs should be taxed because they're not protected by the law daw. So ayun, because there's no category for VAs and freelancers yet. So off the bat, do you have any thoughts about this topic?
Well, if we go back with the concepts of the taxation, to begin with, is everyone is subject or obliged to pay the taxes. In fact, when you read the tax code, it is indicated that all income Even nga yung mga illegal income supposed to be dapat natatax yan eh. So it's really
Yeah.
what do you call, hot topic to begin with. Though I understand where are the VAs are coming given the frustration of
Mm-hmm.
the government, not just the current but even way back, even before.
Yes.
You can see corruptions eh, 'di ba? Baliktaran niya kahit saan pa man. So it's really a sense of thinking, dapat ba akong magbayad o hindi?
Mm-hmm.
Eh, knowing that maliit lang yung kinikita ko tapos
Yes.
mapapunta sa gobyerno, mababalitaan ko, ay parang saan ba napapapunta yung mga taxes ko? Tapos ganun lang yung nangyayari. Ang sakit sa loob. No? So I understand where they are coming from.
Thank you for that compassion and empathy. You mentioned something about maliit lang yung kinikita ko. So for virtual assistants kasi, a lot of people, like, it's not as if you in college pa lang pangarap mo maging VA. It's not like that. It's the kind of job people sort of fall into. Like, they start out as accepting writing gigs or like I know one-time or project-based jobs until eventually they build their portfolio. And then when they find a client that keeps them on for a longer time, that's when they actually become a VA. Na they call themselves, okay, VA ako, kaya ko nang bitawan yung ibang work ko at full-time work from home ako. So at what point does a freelancer need start paying taxes? How do you go from ay one-time writing gig to tapos babayaran ako ng 500 pesos via GCash to okay, freelancer na ako, kailangan na ako matax? Like, where does that begin?
Yes, na-mention ko kanina na to begin with, lahat ng kinikita mo is already subject sa tax.
Uh-huh.
But there is one thing here in law na nagsasabi na it does not necessarily mean na automatic pag kumita ka is you are doing business already. So,
Okay.
magiging measurement natin, if you are not earning within a year of more than 100,000 pesos, technically you are not doing business, but you are just doing that to survive. Okay, so pwede natin gamitin yon as an edge. So kung 500 lang, tapos kung isa-sum up mo within a year, so I think we can use that as a defense of hindi naman po ako obliged since I'm just doing this just to survive. If you are familiar with the sari-sari store owner, you will hindi sila masyadong pinapansin ng authorities natin, particularly the BIR, kasi we can perceive that they are not earning more than 100,000 pesos.
That's a threshold, 100,000.
That will be a threshold. So, pwede natin gamitin siya as defense. Though, syempre, ideally, gusto naman talaga ng government is you compassionately report everything. Lahat ng, even that you are not earning 100,000 pesos. No? Kasi that will serve as an additional funds for our government expenditures.
Okay. Are there any VAs who are exempted from paying taxes, or is it applied to a particular industry? Is there any?
Well, going back with industry, I do not see any specific industry. But what I can see is your classification as an individual taxpayer. Now, let me just give you a short overview. Yung individual taxpayer kasi is subclassified into 5 categories. Number 1, then citizen. These are the Filipinos who are staying here in the Philippines. And then meron tayong tinatawag na non-resident citizen. These are Filipinos who are staying abroad. Either they are working or they are staying there for good. No? Non-resident citizen sila kung tawagin. And then we also have resident alien, mga foreigners staying here in the Philippines. And we have non-resident alien, dalawa po sila kasi depende if they are doing business here in the Philippines or not doing business in the Philippines. Now, going back, kasi mostly these are Filipinos. Now, ang natatax lang kasi dyan, sa kinikita mo with worldwide, kasi ang term namin dito is earnings within and earnings without. So, if you are earning within the Philippines, automatically, itong lahat ng 5 ito, subject to tax.
Okay.
But if you are earning with outside the Philippines, particularly in VA, since they have foreign client, no, they are treated as resident citizen. They are obliged to pay tax on that matter.
Okay.
But if these VAs are treated as non-resident citizen, meaning to say they are staying abroad, but they are Filipinos, they are exempt on income tax here in the Philippines.
Here in the Philippines.
For those earnings sa labas ng Pilipinas. Kasi yung clients nila di ba? So, yun nga. Kasi again, going back dun sa 5, only resident citizen are taxed of income earned within and outside the Philippines.
Okay. So, as a VA, what are the benefits of paying taxes?
Well, unang-una, I can relate with my personal experience, which is, I think, medyo linked with the VA. I think most of the VA, some of them, hindi naman po some of them, most of the VA are interested in going abroad. Siyempre, either leisure man yan or some other parts, no? For those who are visiting for abroad, unang-unang requirements, kasi hahanapan ka ng, ng customs dyan to
Mm-hmm.
tawag dito, your proof of income or your proof na you are willing to stay here in the Philippines and hindi ka magtatago in other country. Siyempre, proof of income. Number one, proof of income. Kung wala ka ng trabaho, you mentioned earlier that most of the VAs here is decided to let go of their job.
Yes, is of their government jobs, of their corporate jobs. Yeah.
So the VA jobs can now satisfy their financial requirements. Now, since wala na silang job, wala na pong tax na re-report, wala na silang proof of income. And by filing income tax, this will serve, number one, as your proof of income. So, without this proof of income, you will be questionable whether you are tied here in the Philippines to stay here in the Philippines. In fact, I heard marami po na tayong VA, mas mahirap mag-explain with BOC because wala silang, tawag dito, wala silang proof of tax filing. So, or ang unang doubt ng BOC or Bureau of Customs is baka magtago ka lang doon. So, yan. Visa. Sa visa, yan din hahanapin yan. Doon sa countries that requires visa applications such as Japan, the Korea, hahanapin po yan. So, importante po yan.
Okay, so the main benefit talaga is proof of income, which can be used in for traveling abroad and also for applying for credit card, right?
Correct. Credit card, housing loan, no? That is necessary. In fact, ako as a teacher, what happened is I am no longer employed as an employee, but I'm doing it as a professional. So medyo same kami ng bracket na ng VA. So I do the filing na filing on my own to consolidate. Which is pag nag-loan ako sa bangko, pag kukuha ko ng housing, ito yung kailangan ko. Now, if I fail to do so, wala akong proof na mapapakita with the banks.
Okay, so let's talk about the word filing. So, for people who work in corporate, right? They usually don't think that they have to handle taxes because there's this accounting department. It just gets automatically deducted, correct? But for VAs, they just okay, si client nag-send ng pera via PayPal or Wise, okay na to. I don't have to do anything else. Hindi ko kailangan mag-math, ganyan. So, but now we know that VAs need to pay taxes. So, how does a VA start paying taxes? Lagot, kailangan ko pala magbayad ng tax. So, what now?
Okay, so I understand dun sa the concept of the doing corporate. So, I understand with regard to VA, maraming tinatawag tayong under agency and then meron tayong mga freelancers, right?
Yes, correct.
Those under agencies, pwede naman silang hindi na mag-file provided they are engaged with single employer. Kasi ang po natin dito, substituted filing. So yung mga agency, sila na mismo yung mag-file on behalf of the employee kung sila lang yung source ng income nila. Substituted filing ang tawag doon. Ngayon, ikaw bilang freelancer, hindi ka entitled with substituted filing kasi kailangan mo mag-consolidate ng income. So how do you start that? Unang-una, you have to keep track of your books and your transactions. Importante yan, not just to know to file ng tax, hindi lang para sa compliant, para makita mo rin, nagbe-benepisyo ka pa. Baka ang nangyayari pala is tumatanggap kay client, tapos at the end of the day, you have computed yung net effect mo, yung ginagastos mo with your platform, your digital softwares na binabayad mo, your subscriptions, tapos in-net effect mo dun sa binabayad ng client mo, maliit lang, talo ka pa sa pagod. Diba? So, number one of that. So, you have to then, you start your filing, syempre, you need to start with registration. So, ano yung mga kailangan mong i-register? Well, before going kay BIR, actually, medyo last part na si BIR. You need to register your business. You go first with DTI if you are a sole proprietor or baka gusto mong mag-OPC if you are not familiar, one-person corporation. SEC naman. So, you register muna doon, and then after registration, kapag meron ka ng registration, that's the only time sa kakapunta kay BIR.
Mm.
Yan. So, upon registration kay BIR, si BIR naman, yung certificate of registration natin or yung COR, doon naman niya babanggitin ano yung mga deadlines mo, ano yung mga main responsibilities mo. Provided yan yung regular mong ginagawa. Unless meron kang papasukan na other transactions na subject sa tax.
I really like how you highlighted that for freelancers, it's not just for compliance, but having like a good record of your expenses and your sources of income mo actually helps you see kung nalulugi ka ba o hindi, right? I think the common mindset kasi for people entering the VA industry, they're attracted to it because of the high salary if you're lucky, and also the flexibility. Like walang rigid rules. You just do your work, you get paid, but then you realize over time that you've left corporate, but at the same time, all the things that you get in corporate, you have to start doing on your own. Nakasama dun yung accounting. Unless, as you mentioned, you work for a VA agency. And dagdag ko lang for our listeners, a lot of you are wondering, bakit ang laki ng bayad ni client sa VA agency, pero konti lang, or just a half of it, or 40% or less goes to the VA themselves. It's also because of those operating expenses na the accounting. So how difficult would you say taking care of one's own taxes and accounting is? Do you think as a VAs can do it on their own, or is there a learning curve to that?
Well, I understand. You mentioned earlier that when we talk about VA, it encompasses a lot of niche, diba? So maraming
Yes.
So meron tayong bookkeeping services, meron tayong media marketing, mga ganyan, something like that. For bookkeeping, I think medyo familiar sila with regard
They can do their own, yes.
So kahit papaano, they can do it. But ang worry ko, all the rest. There are some technicalities and some jargons that you cannot really understand if you are not familiar with accounting and the taxation. So I guess on that matter, you consult the experts. It's also critical. Sometimes kasi, if you do a filing, actually hindi lang kasi isa lang yung dapat mabayaran. So, meron tayong income tax, meron tayong business tax. Now, the moment po hindi po nag-jive yung report mo, ang tawag po natin dito with accounting and taxation is what we call exposure. What do you mean by exposure? For the BIR, if they notice that these reports does not tally with each other, you are on the red flag. So they are monitoring you already. And with that, if you are being monitored, baka any moment, they might audit you. Unless, of course, dun sa random audit. So other than random audit, baka they pinpoint you to specifically audit, which is mas rigid kesa dun sa random audit. So yun yung risk of doing it by yourself. So I understand, marami ng Gemini dyan, marami ng YouTube that
yes.
information about which is medyo mukhang madali. But you have to still consider the technicalities. Kasi you have to consider ano ba yung considerations ni BIR with regard to the compliance that you are doing. Not just you are just complying, what will be the implications. Diba? So, yes, pwede yan. Lalo na dun sa bookkeeping, medyo familiar. You can do it since you are already familiar. You can do it and research and ask. But for all others, I really discourage them. I really would like to encourage them to seek the help of a professional. Marami naman ng professional na hindi ganun kamahal given that they understand yung nature ng business. Kasi the pricing of the professional depends on the work. If hindi komplikado yung work na gagawin nila since ang transactions mo are all the same. So, I think hindi ganun kamahal yung magiging charges nila pagdating sa...
Yes, I also want to take that opportunity na, right, there is this ability to consult, and that's another thing that I appreciate in this day and age. There are a lot of accountants like other services. For example, like if you want to avail of mental health services these days, you can just look on the internet and you can find doctors who also offer like consultation. Here's a one-on-one session. And I think the same can be also said for accountants, that there are accountants who have online like Facebook pages. It's very accessible these days. You don't have to go to a physical office, right?
True. So recently, even with my clients, what happened is hindi pa nga kami nagkikita ng gano'ng katagal. I think once pa lang kami face to face. So all the rest are digital transactions, email, and Zoom call. So I think given that you chosen yung profession mo as a VA kasi gusto mo may flexibility, nag-stay ka lang sa bahay.
Mhm.
And ang worried mo baka pagdating sa compliance with the BIR mawala yung mabawasan yung yung comfort mo. I think I agree with you, Melissa, regarding that na may flexibility pa rin naman. We can do transactions and consultations online.
Great. Yeah, that's very important. Especially for our listeners right now who are thinking, okay, baka kailangan ko nga mag-consult sa isang tax expert. Saan ko sila mahanap? So, of course, people are gonna look on Google, they're gonna look on Facebook, on social media. Okay, Philippines tax consultant, book now. Mga ganyan.
All right. So, we have here Facebook groups wherein many are consulting, BAR Tax Help, and accountants. So, search with the Facebook groups naman, no? Then you can post doon. So, looking for accountant. So, madali naman na po siya. Since even the accountant, medyo nag-evolve na rin, no? Kahit medyo makaluma kami. No, nag-evolve na rin kami that we are also doing online transactions through Facebook to meet clients. So, hindi tulad dati that we do referral, we do visit the physical offices. Now, since marami ng VA, so normally, nagpo-post na din kami na Facebook that we offer services. So it's easy. Actually, given that the Facebook, by the tip of your finger, napakadali na. Lahat na, madali
yes,
na.
Yes, exactly. To have a consultation with an expert is a lot more accessible now. And as you mentioned, for some, it's also affordable, especially for those who don't really have complex, like if you're a VA and you only have one client, tas may side hustle ka na content creation or something or digital products, feel ko mas madali yung i-bookkeep, no? So the prices for that would be a bit different too.
In fact, yung iba nga free on first consultation. Pwede na yan. Magandang
Diba? I hope our listeners take note of that. I also like what you said that it is really recommended to consult with an expert. Kasi baka may gagawa dyan sa Canva yung bookkeeping nila tapos isasubmit sa BIR. Nako, wag.
Nako. That's too risky.
Yes. You mentioned something about auditing though. I won't go into detail with what you said about the income tax and business tax not matching. I feel like there's a case-to-case basis, right? Depending on how complex your sources of income are. Pero doon naman sa auditing, how often does BIR do random audits? Na-audit ba yung mga VA din? Or paano yan? Like?
Yes, actually, not just BA. Narinig ko na yung mga online seller at saka yung mga all other professionals na random audit sila. Navivisit sila ng BIR. So usually kasi on an annual basis, the BIR do what we call tax mapping. So ano yung
tax mapping?
They do visit yung mga registered taxpayer within their zone. For example, Pasig District. Tawag namin RDO yung RDO, yung Pasig, magbe-visit siya kung sino yung mga registered within the Pasig area. So, now, problema doon, pag na-visit ka, tapos you have some findings, and medyo, it will trigger something sa kanila. So, na-tax map ka. Kasi ang unang hahanapin lang sa'yo, do you have sales invoice? Do you have registration? Meron books? And if wala, ayun, that's my fine. Ngayon, kunwari, they visited something like out of the blue, tapos na-caught off guard ka na mukha wala ka palang filing, doon na yun na matinding audit. Ayan.
Okay.
So, annual itong tax mapping. Though hindi 100% na visit. Pero mataas ang chance, tawag dito, kunwari, this year hindi ka na-visit. Baka possible, next year ma-visit ka for tax mapping. Pagka simpleng simpleng visit lang muna. Tapos simple visit, pagka hindi ka compliant, mukhang may kasunod na yan.
Okay, and these are for those registered with the BIR, meaning those with the TIN ID?
Yes. Those with TIN ID. Now, I understand. Ang magiging defense yan, hindi naman ako registered kay BIR.
Hindi ako
problem. Hindi ako mabibisit. Well, ganito po yan. Given the new tax rulings, you mentioned earlier, may mga tax rulings tayo, VAT on digital services. Meron tayo. Actually, meron pa nga bago, no? SIMEPA, Capital Market Efficiency Promotion Act. Ito po yun. Medyo pinagtatalunan nga lately yan. Given that, yung binabayaran mong subscription. 'Di ba si supplier is obliged to pay the value-added tax. And hindi
Mhm.
lang yan basta bayad. Most of the payment, naka-report doon kung saan galing yung VAT nila. So if you are subscriber nitong platform na to, kunwari, um,
Adobe Premium, like
Adobe
with,
Premium. Kunwari,
yeah.
Adobe Premium, Adobe will report, subscriber ka. So,
Mhm.
may VAT siyang chinarge sa'yo. So, kasama ka sa listahan ng mga nagbayad ng VAT. So, magbabayad siya ngayon ni BIR. So, nasa listahan ka. So, mapapansin yan ni BIR yung mga consistent na may mga ganitong subscriptions.
Okay, yung taong to,
Ito,
nakasubscribe din sa
meron to kay
ganitong
ganito,
taxes
may
sa
grammar din
Upwork, tas
dito, may
may,
Upwork din ito, meron din
okay.
ganito. So, kita siya ni
BA to.
BIR. So,
Oo.
okay. So, consistent siya dito. Pero bakit wala siyang registration?
Okay, may ganun.
Mukhang madali right now kasi hindi ka pa nahuhuli. Pero how about in the near future? So, you will notice most of the law is more on efficiency of the BIR
Mhm.
to run against the tax evaders and
Mhm.
non-filer, non-paying
Mhm.
taxes. So, may, as the time goes on, marami pang bagong batas na lalabas and I believe mas madali nang mahuhuli yung mga hindi nagpa-file.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to the topic of new risks. So ano mangyayari for those VAs, for example, na hindi registered sa BIR, was na-audit sila bigla, and they haven't been paying any taxes on their income for, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, ganun.
Unang-una, their non-registration outright is a fine. So, I think around 5,000 to 20,000, depende sa gaano kalaki yung transaction.
Mhm.
So, kunwari, 20,000. So, mabigat isang client na agad yan, 20,000. And then, aside from that, yung penalty kasi nun, I think nabanggit ko naman na maraming klase kang tax na babayaran. So, kahit ba wala kang record, take note, the BIR can do what we call the benchmarking. Paano benchmarking? Titingnan niya yung mga nagpa-file na regularly. Titingnan niya in average magkano yung binabayaran nilang tax. I-charge tayo yun. So halimbawa, may compliant, nagbabayad siya regularly on 10,000 peso per month or per quarter. Tapos ikaw wala kang binayaran. So for 3 years. So that's for 1 year pa lang alone, 40,000 na. Times 3 years pa, that's already 120,000. Bukod pa dun sa 20,000 fine mo. Tapos, yung 10,000 mo is not just the 10,000. Meron ka pa diyang 25% surcharge kung late ka ng filing, kung late lang ng filing. Pero kung hindi ka talaga nagpa-file, that's 50%. So imagine, 15,000 na. Pero teka lang, it does not end with that. Depende pa kung gaano kalaki to. Meron ka tinatawag na compromise penalty. You have to pay that para hindi ka mademanda ni BIR. Kasi kung hindi mo babayaran yan, madidemanda ka ni BIR. Now,
so this criminal record.
Yes. Ita sa bracket. Depende. A minimum yan, 1,000. Pero pwedeng umabot into 50,000. Depende sa laki ng kunwari, yung 10,000. For example, for 10,000, I think that's 3,000. So that's already 18,000 for dun sa isang quarter pa lang ha. 18,000 isang quarter na 10,000. Plus yung mga interest mo pa. That's 6%. No? I think 6%. Kasi depende yan. 6% pagka you are treated as micro, small, and medium enterprises. Pwede pa umabot ng 12% pagka treated ka as large company. Ang laki eh. Ang bigat ng babayaran just for a single quarter. Okay? So, payment pa lang po yun. Meron pang reports. Some of the payment requires report. Nabanggit ko kanina, di ba, kunwari si Adobe, nakalista doon kung sino yung mga bumili sa kanya. Ngayon, ikaw, ililista mo din kung sino yung clients mo. Okay, so, bukod dun sa file mo, i-release mo din yung clients mo. Per client, 1,000 peso penalty. Per lease per quarter, ha? Per lease per quarter. So, halimbawa, meron kang 10 client. Sa isang quarter, hindi mo na file. So, bukod dun sa 18,000 plus interest na 12%, plus 10,000 pa.
Nako, hindi ko na compute kung magkano yan. Pero lumobo na bigla siya
into like... total, pero mukhang I believe medyo nagigets na kung gaano karami yung magiging penalty. Diba? So imagine that. with just a single visit.
Mhm.
Intindi na. No, so unless sasabihin mo, ay hindi kasi ang mangyayari diyan, sir, hindi na lang ako magpo-file tapos next year pupunta ako ibang bansa, magma-migrate ako.
Takasin mo siya.
Tatago ka na lang doon. Pero hindi po natatapos doon. The moment bumalik ka, ang tawag po natin doon, ang tawag po ng batas, non-prescriptibility of taxes. So pag bumalik ka, audit ka ulit, nandun pa din yun. So hindi siya mag-e-expire hanggat hindi ka pa, hanggat buhay ka pa, hindi yan mag-e-expire. So your responsibility to pay tax remains the same.
Okay. Okay, understood. So for those, halimbawa may mga kinakabahan ngayon, ako mukhang marami yung nilang ibayad kay BIR. So, for example, if you've been working as a VA for a while, tas nag-decide ka, oh sige, starting tomorrow, mag-apply na ako for TIN, mas magbayad na ako ng taxes, are they gonna, depende ba yun kay BIR kung i-audit nila retroactively, or how does that work?
So far, based on experience, there are only few na nagre-retroactive na
Okay.
BIR audit. Base dun sa experience. Pero I'm not sure with others. No, bihira pa lang yung retroactive na encounter ko. Most of the BIR, natutuwa sila if you're voluntarily registering. So, hindi na nila masyadong nakakalkal yung previous. So, it applies most of the those who newly enlightened to register and pay the taxes, correct?
Yes. So mga listeners, huwag niyong hayaan na ma-audit mo na kayo at marami kayong penalties. Register na sa BIR. So out of curiosity, sa VA industry kasi yung usual salary milestones is when you get 50,000, and then also karamihan pinapangarap nila yung 6-digit salary, yung 100,000 and above. So when you pay taxes on your income, sobrang laki ba ng cut to the point na na-incentivize yung iba na, sige, ayoko munang umabot ng 100K na sweldo. Gusto ko 95,000 na lang. Because I know in other countries, like for example in the US, when you jump tax brackets in terms of income, like when your income increases, you also have to pay more taxes. At some points, people just stay below a certain amount para lang hindi malaki din masyado yung taxes nila.
Yes, ang kagandahan with the Philippines, marami kasing option, yung individual taxpayer. Yes, true. By default, yung individual taxpayer are taxed based on sa salary bracket. But kagandahan yan, since you are not employed and you are doing considered namin dyan self-employment, yung business or doing professional work, may option siya. So they can avail what we call 8% option. They can pay a fixed price, a fixed fee of 8% of their gross income minus 250,000 pesos. No? So gross income minus 250,000 pesos times 8%. No? Kagandahan nun ng 8% is already dalawang tax na yung nabayaran mo doon. I mentioned earlier, may income tax ka and may business tax ka. Compared with dun kasi yung default, dalawa kasi yung babayaran mo dun business tax and income tax, which is graduated, and 3%. Okay.
So as a freelancer, you always have to pay business tax as well because you're also doing a business under your own name, no? Like you are the brand, you are the business. Okay. But if you're a regular employee, for example, working in corporate, in an income tax lang, aside from the other deductibles,
so
it's not
default ka with the graduated income tax if you are just being employed. So kung i-relate natin for those engaged in agency, yun lang yung babayaran nila.
That's another interesting point. Wala palang salary grade sa VA, no? Pero if you work for the government, you can see dun sa job description, sa job offer, may salary grade. Sa VA, walang ganun. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
actually, sorry, let me add. No, nakalimutan ko. Kasi yung iba, they fear, ang laki ng 8% Parang ang nangyayari is the 8% alone will consume most of their earnings. Actually, there are also some options, even some of the business hindi nag-avail nito. I don't know bakit hindi masyadong known sa public ito. Ito yung tinatawag nating barangay micro business enterprises. Ano po yung barangay micro business enterprises? For those na with assets, business assets not more than 3 million pesos, and hindi sila nagre-render ng professional services. Meaning to say, hindi sila required na mag-take ng PRC board exam para may i-render nila yung professional services. Kasi even our bookkeepers naman providing VA, since hindi naman accredited yung CPA license ng ibang bansa. Yung CPA dito sa Pilipinas is that
Mhm.
hindi ka naman required na mag-take ng CPA. Though, syempre, advantage yun to show them na you have knowledge. Pero kung most of our VA, hindi naman nagre-require ng ano. So, entitled sila dito. Pwede po sila mag-avail. Now,
So,
ganda
okay,
dito.
just to ask a question, for example, in communications, as social media manager, as content creator, wala naman licensure exam talaga for communications, right? So
Yes,
if you're gonna sell digital products like that, pwede pasok ka under the barangay.
micro-business. So, BMBE tawag natin. Ay.
Okay.
Now, sir, anong advantage yun if you are to enter with BMBE? Kanina, sabi ko, you have to pay 8%. Diba?
Mhm.
Kapalit nung income tax and business tax. Or yung original, graduated income tax and 3% business tax. Now, if you are registered under Barangay Micro Business Enterprise, you only have to pay 3% business tax. Exempt ka na with income tax.
Wow, that's such a big difference na.
So, though, syempre, advantageous lang kasi kung hindi ka masyadong marunong mag-filing dun sa 8%, hindi mo kailangan magpasa ng financial statement kay BIR. Pero dito is required ka magpasa ng financial statement.
And you can apply for this in your barangay?
You have to apply that with your municipality or city.
Okay.
You have to approach your LGU, either city hall or municipal hall, depende kung saan kayo naka-reside na malapit.
Wow, that's really helpful advice. Thank you. Ngayon ko lang din yan nalaman.
Yes. Ay, actually, free consultation na. Kasi dapat si professional na yung mag-deliver nito.
Oh, okay.
And,
Thank you so much.
bali, ang style dito, you have to register first. Diba? You have to register with the DTI and then register with BMBE before going to BIR. Because if nauna yung registration mo kay BIR, hindi ma-recognize ni BIR that you are exempt with income tax.
Right. Okay. Yes. Grabe, sobrang useful na, sobrang informative. I think for some people kasi na-intimidate sila sa proseso and they're intimidated na, hala, wala akong kakilalang accountant. Paano magkahanap ng accountant? Like, tulog ako during office hours kasi night shift ako. Like, how do I get all this information? And when you actually talk to someone who's an expert at this, parang hindi na ganun ka-intimidating. Parang kayang-kaya mo yung process. So, I hope ma-inspire yung mga BA listening to it. So I think I'm down to my last question. So considering that filing taxes does require a bit of effort, it also requires consultations with an expert. Do the VAs that you know, when they price their services, sinasama kaya nila sa costing? Okay, this is the cost of the accountancy services I avail of. Sinasama kaya nila yun sa, okay, as a VA to hire me, ito yung charge ko, ganyan.
Yeah, I think they consider that. Though hindi talaga siya explicitly visible dun sa billing nila. Pero yung consideration on the pricing, they consider that yun. Kasi gano'n naman talaga tayo with the business. If you are pricing your client, you consider all expenses. Otherwise, hindi siya magiging beneficial. Kasi baka nagpa-price ka nga ng mura para marami kang client, pero at the end of the day, lugi ka.
So just to share then a little bit, one of the reasons why Paulo and I started the Offshore Diaries podcast together is because sa kakatambay namin sa Reddit reading all the rants from the different subreddits and communities. Kasi di ba VAs parang our office is at home and the people, yung iba walang co-workers people just talk to other VAs like them sitting at home as well. So it's it's different from the other industries in a sense na it's very based on online communities. Tapos isa sa mga napansin namin rants dun is like lowballing, yung iba naman masyadong OA yung expectations, bagong pasok lang sa industry, they expect to get like 70,000 agad yun. And I realized also because it's so flexible, a lot of people don't keep a clear accounting, they don't keep a clear record of, okay, ito yung expenses, this is how I justify how much I price my services. And when you mentioned na, okay, mahalaga mag-pay ng taxes, it's also important to keep a clear record and be disciplined in maintaining that record. I feel like that's one step closer to for VAs to justify their rates para maiwas yung lowballing kasi how do you justify your rates if you don't know what your expenses are? If you don't keep a record of that, right? Pag you just come up with a random figure. So I feel like this was a very fruitful discussion that also parang adds to the bigger solution. So before ending, is there anything you'd like to share?
I think I would like to share, since relate ko na rin with taxation since yun yung ano natin. We have recent recent tax, which is Capital Market Efficiency Promotion Act, wherein marami pong nagre-react because
Okay.
some of the supposed to be interest income of the long-term deposits are now being taxed. And
Mm.
isa po ito, pwede po kayong matamaan dito mga VA. Yung isa po kasi dito ang changes is yung foreign currency denominated units deposits. So if, syempre, we are earning in dollar, meron kayong
Mm.
deposits. Previously, ang tax po niyan is only 15%. Now,
Mm.
it will be taxed on 20%. Now, I understand marami pong nagre-react about this. So, siguro, as a professor na rin with taxation and accounting, ang masasuggest ko, other than putting your investments or your money, hard-earned money, into bank. Kasi ako, I really discourage putting it in the bank because that is the worst investment.
Mm.
Imagine, given the inflation, which is range 5% to 10%. Normally, the banks give you 2% to 3% if normal savings. If time deposit, 6% to 8%. Minsan, swerte mo na pag may 9%. Diba? So, imagine yung 10% na inflation, tapos ang earnings mo lang is around 6%. May tax pa.
Mm. Mm.
Hindi siya ideal. Na I think hindi po nakukompute ang karamihang tao ito.
Mm.
So, ano yung mga pwede kong isuggest? There are some alternatives, mga better investment. And for example, Pag-ibig MP2. If you're familiar with Pag-ibig MP2, you can do that. Tax-free. So, yung interest niya, pero ang tawag nila is dividend. Interest niya, depende sa performance ng Pag-ibig. During the pandemic, the lowest was 8%. That's the lowest. I
Mm.
encountered 11%. Tax-free.
Ayan. That's very helpful advice.
So you compare that. Now, you compare that rather than depositing. Ano pa? Most of us neglect insurances. Ayan. Yes, you have a money right now. Pero the moment that you health complain, so magreklamo na yung health mo,
Mm.
ubus agad yung savings. So rather than paying a small premium, no, yung mga savings mo, ubus agad yan. So, engage within insurances, particularly health insurances. No, mas maganda yan rather than gipon ka lang.
Mm.
I hope marami kong na-deliver na good investment decision on that part.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Sir Jesser. Also, if any of our listeners would like to consult with you, I'm sure some of them might have questions on their mind. How may they reach you?
Yes, I just created a new Facebook na baka you are interested. I am the author of Kape at Buwis by Jesser Javier. You can search it in the Facebook.
Happy at Buwis. Nice.
Kape at Buwis. So, I plan on discussing taxes and even accounting. So, baka kahit paano it can help you. So, in the near future, magpo-post ako ng mga reels of some short tutorials about taxes and accounting.
Okay.
So you can message me that on that page then.
See, we would be very glad to promote your social media pages as well. Thank you so much for your time and effort and also your heart for teaching and education. This is very much needed in the community and I'm sure a lot of people find this helpful.
Thank you.
See, until next time, Sir Jesser.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.